A very good friend, somebody that I've known for several years and have great respect for. It's Terri Garcia, who is the owner and founder of AngeliCare in-home companion care. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Good
Glad to be here
again. So, we have worked on a few things together through the years: the Alzheimer's Foundation golf tournament and some other things like that. And but it's always nice to get somebody in the studio and talk just one-on-one. So tell me a little bit about how AngeliCare came to be and basically what you do.
How it came to be. It was something that I started out of the home, that I could spend time with my daughter when she needed help with her homework and then still have something to do. So it started growing and it just blossomed into 14 years later. So
wow.
I wanted to give something back to the community. I didn't want to come up with something that I made and sold and then that's it.
Sure.
My husband and I thought long and hard on this, and we came up with in-home care. So we provide non-medical in-home care to seniors here in the Fresno-Clovis area. We can help them with, besides the companionship that the ladies give, meal planning and preparation, medication reminders, bathing, dressing, grooming, make sure they get around safely, go on errands with them or for them, take them to doctor's appointments, all kinds of different things that kids would do for their parents
if they were able
to do it.
Sure.
Or give the kids a break too.
Exactly.
So you can't do it 24/7.
It's funny you mentioned that. Respite care.
Yes.
Probably, in my opinion, the most underutilized type of care there is. And so do you have like minimums, or do you have something you recommend?
We really don't have a minimum, but if somebody's going to need respite care, let's give them time to go do what they want to do and take a breath and just not have to worry about somebody. So usually somebody would use like 4 hours.
Sure.
Once a week maybe, or once every other week, something like that. But we're available from 1 hour a day to 24/7. So it just depends on what's needed in each individual home. So we can go out and do bathing visits and get them started for the day, or we can do a little bit longer visit. Usually the bathing visits are about an hour. Sometimes we have somebody that needs 2 to 3 hours. They want to somebody to run errands with them and go pick things up and go shopping and go to the bank and do things they want to do, but they can't really drive themselves.
Sure.
So you've got somebody with you helping you shop and taking you to the places that you need to go. And then, respite, 4 hours a day or more.
Let's talk about it real quick, folks. Some people may not know what we're referring to when we say respite care, but I refer to it as giving the caregiver a break.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
People have their children coming in to help them at home, or they may be living together. The child is doing 24/7 and they get burned out. If they get burned out, they need to take care of themselves. So they need a break. Because if something happens to them, who's going to take care of mom or dad?
Well, that's my mom's biggest fear with my dad, who has Parkinson's. She would always say, I'm more concerned about me going first than anything happened to him.
That happens
I think it's almost 30% now.
Something like that.
Yeah, where the caregiver goes first, and so it's
and then
important.
What do you do?
And in my parents' case, they were living on the coast, and so it's not like you could just run over there and fill in real quick.
Exactly.
And, so one of the other things that I see is obviously you guys have a A+ Better Business rating.
We've worked hard for that.
So I know that doesn't come easy. It says that you provide assisted living care, also Alzheimer's and other dementia-related care involving cognitive impairment. So I'm sure that you deal with a few things, such as we want to keep mom at home until, but that doesn't always seem like that's possible because of a medical episode maybe or something. But I know when people are at home, they kind of drive the ship, if you will. It's their domain. And it should be. Yes. But I'm sure there's times when people need to understand that it's not always fair to keep mom in control or maybe keep mom involved in some of the really critical decisions.
Especially when it comes to critical things where the input would be getting them like all riled up and agitated and things like that.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's no good. And then we're talking with extra support people like Marie Espinola with the Alzheimer's Foundation. We bring people in or have them talk to other people to give them better clues on how to handle things like that. But it's always redirecting it depends on the stages of dementia too.
True, yeah.
So sometimes they can still be in on the conversation and help make decisions and be part of the decision process, but there does come a point where it doesn't do anybody any good to ask them because it just upsets them.
Yeah.
And then you have to go through directing them in a different direction and trying to get them over that.
Sure.
So
sure.
Every day's a new day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, every day is definitely a new day. You mentioned Marie with the Alzheimer's Foundation. One of the things that our mutual friend Kim told me yesterday is, she says, Greg, sometimes you just have to, she says, I hate to say it, but sometimes you just have to lie to mom and dad, you know, and it's kind of a crude way of saying it, but I understand what she means, because sometimes they will fight you tooth and nail for the littlest thing.
For nothing.
And you just kind of, like I say, have to kind of redirect them around, and, you know, it's like the kid with, you know, distractions, easily distracted. You just kind of have to re-distract them over here.
Yeah. You still have to treat them with respect and
Sure,
dignity. And it's just a matter of keeping them safe, making the best decision for them. Sometimes you just can't include them in that because it is so upsetting. And it's just going to cause a big argument. And sometimes it's hard to get them talked down from that.
It is.
And so it's just, as it goes along, somebody's going to have to be the one in charge.
Do you find that sometimes the family will rely on you to maybe say or bring about some subjects or decisions perhaps that maybe somebody would take it from you a little bit easier than they would take it from their own child?
Yeah. And caregiving is the same thing, too. We can suggest different ways to approach what's going on in the home. A lot of times, the people we care for will pay more attention to what we ask them to do than what their kids. It's easier to take care of somebody else than it is to take care of your own parents.
I know, it really is.
So it's just, it has that effect. Sometimes we don't wear smocks to a person's home because they have that feeling it might upset them or just they're just not comfortable with smocks. So we take that into account even. And they may have pets. We have to take that into account. Caregivers have to be pet friendly because that's their baby.
Yeah, really.
So you have to get along with things like that. But in caring for people with mental challenges, it is a group effort, and communicating with the office, communicating with the family, letting them know that this was just like way off the charts today, you know, and hopefully we can figure out what set them off.
There you go.
So, and convey that.
Real quick, in the time that we have left, I noticed on your website that not just anybody can become a caregiver for AngeliCare.
No.
You have quite an exhaustive list of, you know, testing and qualifying and things that you make sure people are on board with and understand. Is that maybe what might make you just a little different than some?
There's some things that they have to do no matter where they work.
Okay.
But they have to be registered with the state of California. They have to be fingerprinted. They have to have TB. So that's the state part. And then they come in to us and we go through orientation and talk about our care plan book and go through that and teach them how to use it, because there's documentation in there that needs to be done so the family can see what happened while we were there. If there's long-term care insurance involved, we have notes that need to go in with their invoicing. So we kind of go through that, and then we start the training with hygiene, being in somebody's home, meal planning and preparation, lots of different things, but safety first, type of
Okay.
thing, safety and infection control, teaching, making sure they know how to bathe. Everybody's bathed somebody, but you have to do it right.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to wash your
Definitely.
hands right, too.
There you go, yeah.
There's lots of things that they have to go through before they even get to a client's home through AngeliCare.
Well, I know that's good to hear, because I know caregiving is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
And I know that it's a huge job, probably the hardest thing to do. And most people, I know there's a lot of unpaid caregivers, daughters and sons that are just,
Sure.
and spouses that are doing it, and probably one of the most underappreciated positions.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
all right. So, how do people get a hold of you?
We have a website, which is angelicare.com, ANGELICARE. Our office is over by Fashion Fair now. We moved a little bit
Oh, did
more
you really?
center. Yeah,
Okay.
last weekend. And our number is 453-0151. And Cruz and I come out and do assessments. Grace does all the scheduling. Allie does the hiring and the training now. And Steve and I
Awesome.
just kind of pick up whatever needs
There
to be
you
done,
go.
but
Yeah.
the billing and the payroll and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
it's a little
Wow.
family affair, and a couple extra people that have worked for me since the beginning, basically.
Like family.
Yep.
Yep. Wow. Well, that's good. So, folks, you're see it on the screen. Terri is doing a great job, and I know there's a lot of people who provide this type of care, but very few that we ever refer our clients to. And obviously, AngeliCare is one that's on the top of our list. So it's good to see
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. You
so
too.
much. Yeah.
Enjoyed coming.
Thank you, and enjoyed having you. And I guess we'll see you at the golf tournament.
Yes, I'll have my camera ready.
All right.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Truth for Seniors and good friend David Mose with Assisted Senior Transitions coming right up.